For the average American living in 1970, the Apollo space program had become rather humdrum. The previous year had witnessed Apollo 11's historic first moon landing, and Apollo 12's precision touchdown within walking distance of the unmanned Surveyor 3 spacecraft. But by early 1970, NASA's run out of success had turned much of the nation complacent. Many wondered whether fixing problems on Earth demanded more attention than exploring the moon. In this video, we are going to take a closer look into what exactly went wrong with this mission and what was the outcome. Welcome back to Science Explained. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, we appreciate it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon if you haven't done it yet, and then we'll notify you every time we upload new content for this channel. But for now, let's get back to the Apollo 13 mission. Apollo 13 was launched at 2:13 p.m. on April 11th, 1970, from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, Florida, by a giant Saturn V launch vehicle, and only minutes later was inserted into orbit around Earth. The mission was to be the first devoted largely to science and targeted an area near Fra Mauro crater that scientists thought had been splattered by debris from the impact that formed Mare Imbrium. On board the space vehicle was the crew of 3 astronauts, including Commander Jim Lovell, Lunar Module pilot Fred Hayes, and Command Module pilot Jack Swigert. Apollo 13 was made up of 2 independent spacecraft joined by a tunnel, orbiter Odyssey, and lander Aquarius. The crew's home was to be in Odyssey on the journey to the moon. The day after the launch passed without incident. The following evening, however, when the crew was 200,000 miles from Earth and closing in on the moon, mission controller Cy Leibergott noticed a low-pressure warning signal on a hydrogen tank in Odyssey. This was nothing to get too worried about, as it could have been the hydrogen needed to be resettled by using a routine procedure called cryostir. Swigert flipped the switch to perform the procedure, and within minutes the spacecraft started to shake. As oxygen levels started to fall and power disappeared, the crew notified mission control, with Swigert famously saying, "Houston, we had a problem." This was the time a routine flight turned into one of the most exciting episodes in space history. Upon investigation, it turned out that the wires were exposed in the oxygen tank because of a combination of manufacturing and testing errors before the flight. That fateful night, a spark from the exposed wire in the oxygen tank caused a fire, ripping apart one oxygen tank and damaging another inside the spacecraft. Luckily, the damaged Odyssey had a backup in the shape of Aquarius, which was not supposed to be turned on until close to landing on the moon. Aquarius was booted up by Lovell and Hayes in less time than designed, but was lacking a heat shield to survive the drop back to Earth. So Swigert remained in Odyssey to shut down its systems and conserve power for splashdown. The harrowing return journey transfixed the nation and the world. It turned out to be a challenging one. Still, 3 days away from Earth, all 3 astronauts were now in Aquarius, and any thoughts of a lunar landing had long since been abandoned. Only the command module could pass through Earth's atmosphere. The lunar module had to be discarded, along with the service module, before the outer atmosphere was reached. Without a source of heat, cabin temperatures quickly dropped down to 3 degrees centigrade and condensation covered the walls. Food was becoming inedible, and the water was rationed to make sure Aquarius would have enough liquid to cool down its hardware. The entire spaceflight crew lost weight, and Hayes developed a kidney infection. Rescue battleships from all over the world, including the Soviet, French, and British armed forces, began moving towards the recovery area. In the hours before splashdown, the crew managed to scramble back over to the Odyssey. The 2 modules were then separated as pressure in the connective tunnel was permitted to force them apart. The command module with the astronauts inside continued onward, entered Earth's atmosphere, and splashed down safely on target in the Pacific Ocean near Samoa on April 17th at 1:07 p.m, 142 hours, 54 minutes, 41 seconds from the time the huge Saturn V had roared to life. Luckily, the astronauts had no lasting effects from their ordeal. Just a fantastic story to tell. What are your thoughts about the Apollo program? Let us know in the comments below, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, we will appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to get notified every time that we upload new content to our channel. Thanks for watching.